Welcome to Inter-Party Conflict, the podcast where we answer your questions so you can have the best tabletop gaming experience possible. My name is Gabe, and if you've checked this episode's runtime or anything else on the podcast feed, you've probably recognized that this is not a standard episode. So I had a lot of time lately, as I'm sure a lot of people have, and I decided to give you all a special treat this week. In lieu of a normal episodes, we are giving you all 6 episodes of our actual play podcast that we recorded last year. This game was run by me, and the players were Jeff, Justin from Crit Academy, as well as our friend Dave. Now, just a little bit of explanation for this. This game was recorded over one day of gaming back in January 2019. I had the 3 of them come over. We played in person in my basement. In fact, it was a very cold day, so there are some parts where you can hear my furnace kicking on periodically. Once I had the players make characters, I ran a short introductory session for them, just for them, so they could get to know their characters. Unfortunately, we didn't record this, so there are a few parts where we refer back to things that happened in that. I just want to assure you, you didn't miss anything. We didn't record that part. However, I did try to set up the first episode in such a way that you could get an idea of what happened, I guess. I had intentions of continuing to run this game over, the following months and potentially release it weekly or bi-weekly or something, possibly for an entire campaign. Unfortunately, because of just the sheer amount of time that goes into making our normal podcast, and also, it took me so long just to get around to actually editing this. I also had intentions of adding like sound effects and music and everything. And all of that just turned out to be so much work that I was not at all prepared for, that I kind of just shut it out of my mind for a very, very long time. So apologies for that, but also props to all the actual play podcasts out there that actually do this, that actually do put sound effects and music onto what they do, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. A lot of creativity has to go into that. There's so much to it. So anyway, as for this game, I definitely had a lot of expectations for where the story was going to go. It very much was not planned on being just these 6 episodes. But we didn't have time to record anything after that. In theory, I could try to get a hold of the 3 of them and try to record it remotely. But a big part of the whole experience to me was getting everybody together. I don't think I would want to do this if we were going to be doing it remotely. I know for a lot of podcasts, that's their thing, and that's fine with me. But for this particular game, I didn't want to do it if we couldn't do it in person. So I don't know. Well, maybe someday, 2 years in the future, we'll have a few more episodes of this. I don't know. But anyway, overall, I thought this was a lot of fun to do. I'm very glad that people will finally get a chance to listen to it. So yeah, again, sorry for not putting this out sooner. We've mentioned it on Inter-Party Conflict many, many times, but finally it'll get out there. I think there was a lot of fun stuff that happened in this game. I'm really glad that I've finally gotten it, at least in a state that I can release it, So anyway, enjoy this game that we did. I was toying around with the title At the Gaming Table as the name for what our podcast would be called, because I'm pretty sure at least a year ago there wasn't another podcast with that name. So anyway, that's what I'm releasing these as. I might someday put them on their own RSS feed, just in case anybody wants to listen to them that didn't come to them through Inter-Party Conflict. But I don't know. We'll see. For the time being, you've got 6 episodes on your feed this week. Hopefully that will make going through this week a little bit, this week, this month, whatever, a little bit easier for everybody stuck out there. So anyway, we're not going to have a drawing this week. So tune in next week. We don't have I didn't post a social media discussion question this week. Also, the 6 episodes do not have any sort of admin on them. They don't have really an intro. They don't have an outro. They don't have any sort of information about the people that are in it, no ads, no anything like that. So instead, this episode here is going to serve as that. So, of course, I am Gabe. I was the DM of this. The 3 players are Justin. You can find Justin at critacademy.com. He's the host of Crit Academy. It's a great, great podcast that you should all go and listen to. Also, Dave is now Bridget. and she started her own podcast called Bridging the Gap. It is a podcast exploring the transgender experience, sexual abuse, life, love, memes, and D&D, according to her own description. And you can find that podcast at anchor.fm/BTGcast. So once again, anchor.fm/BTGcast is the address for her podcast, Bridging the Gap. And of course, Jeff has never been on a podcast ever, so psych. Jeff is, of course, my usual co-host if you're just tuning in for some reason. So tune in next week and you can hear him talk about whatever. So anyway, thank you all for listening, and I really hope you enjoy the 6 episodes of At the Gaming Table. See you next week.